This will be 6666666 with my Troma video. I'm doing this as a video response to Madam Carnage, my buddy on here. She digs the cheese. She just So here we go, because it's going to take me a long time, so I'm not going to really go into it too much. First one I got is Terra Firma. This is a classic, must buy if you like Troma. If you like, this is one by Lloyd Kaufman, so it's not one that was picked up. Just outrageous, like just in your face, offensive, fun stuff. It's about them making a movie. Then you got Redneck Zombies. This wasn't made by Lloyd. It was made by a guy named. I'm not gonna go into everybody that made these movies. This shot on video cheese fest. I mean bad cheese fest. But it's actually a pretty fun movie. But you've got to like bad movies to enjoy Redneck Zombies. Then we got a classic, Mother's Day, which was made by Lloyd's brother. What's his name? Jesus. Wow. Charles Kaufman, yeah. This is classic, Ike and Adley. They made the remake of it, which was okay, but it's definitely not this one. This is a cheese masterpiece, Mother's Day. Good movie, I mean, it's not bad. Then we got Luther the Geek. This is a really fun one. It's about this little kid that sees this, guy in a carnival bite the head off a chicken, and he feels bad for him, and, yeah, it kind of drives him nuts, and makes him a psychopath. And he gets these metal teeth he sharpens up, and he bites people with them. Fun stuff, and he gobbles like a chicken. Then we got Fatty Drives the Bus. This is wackiness. There was a few parts of this movie that really made me laugh, and then there's a few parts that just like, okay, come on. But all in all, if you can get it really cheap, it is kind of a fun movie. Romeo and Juliet, a take on Romeo and Juliet, set Troma style. Had some really fun stuff in there. Got the penis monster and all that. This was made by Lloyd Kaufman and James Gunn, I believe, yeah. So that's a good one. Then one of my favorites, Bloodsucking Freaks. I absolutely love this movie. It's just a weird 70s movie. If you like the likes of Herschel Gordon Lewis movies and things like that, and if you like extreme movies, it's got some weird shit in there. I mean, it's not really realistic looking, but it's so misogynistic. It's just like, I mean, they're like throwing darts at girls' assholes, and like this one dude's eating dinner on this girl's back and letting candle wax like burn her, and they got these women locked up in cages and they sell them off to people, and it's a crazy movie. Highly recommended there. And then we got Beware Children at Play. Fun little flick, just about these kids that live off in the woods, and they have their own little clique, and they kill adults. But no, it does show some kids getting killed in here, which is really funny. Got Surf Nazis Must Die, another classic here. Not much to say about that. Gotta love that cover art, always have. Surf Nazis Must Die. Then you got this really interesting one here that I don't see talked about enough. Story of a Junkie. It follows around Gringo, this dude. He's a heroin addict, and this is for real. He's a real heroin addict. Now, there is parts of this movie that's a little bit fictionalized, but for the most part, it's a straight-up documentary, and the gritty city of New York in the 80s when everything was really trashy. And if you dig that kind of, seeing New York, I love watching movies like in New York City when everything was really scummy and everything, but this is a really cool little documentary here. And that dude actually died of AIDS because of needles, but it doesn't say that in the movie, I don't think. I think it was years later. Then I got Rapid Grannies. Yes, I've got the crappy cover, but yeah, this is a fun one. It's a foreign one. It's dubbed. I think it's dubbed. But yeah, this has some really cool effects at the end of it. It's got, old ladies turned into monsters, so hey. Then Combat Shock. This is a great one. I do have I got the updated one, the American Nightmare one somewhere, but I had to have 2 copies of this movie because I love this movie. This is a really depressing movie about this dude that gets out of the war and he has nothing. He's poor, he's got a kid to take care of, his wife is a nagging biatch, his apartment's a piece of shit, he can't find a job. He decides, he's got to do what he's got to do to get some money. He's got this deformed kid. I mean, it's a really good movie, really good stuff. Then we got Troma's War, which is a decent movie. They had to cut it a lot. Back in the 80s, they were giving Troma a lot of shit for, because Troma was trying to get their stuff in theaters, and they finally just gave up because the big conglomerates wouldn't you know, they did everything in their power to keep Troma out because they were an independent company. They just wanted their big companies to be in the theaters. They don't want to deal with any of this independent crap. So yeah, Troma's War, fun movie. It's just a bunch of these people get in a plane crash and they end up at this island, and like there's these other people there, and they just get in a big war. And I mean, it's crazy. Fun though. A lot of squibs, a lot of shit like that. Again, you got Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD. Fun little flick. It's more cartoony, if anything. Lloyd was also talking about how he had to cut this movie down. He wanted to make it a lot more like Toxic Avenger. But they want the people that were financing or helping finance. They wanted them to tone it down and make it look. They wanted them to make a family movie, like a family comedy movie. And he went. So if you think about that and then watch the movie, I think you can appreciate it more because you can tell Lloyd's like, no, we're gonna put this in there. We're gonna put that in there. So yeah, it's a fun one. It's no Toxic Avenger, but then we got Class of Nukem High 2, pretty fun. It's got the mutant squirrel in there, big guy. But this one I prefer, you know, the original Class of Nukem High, just a classic movie. You got the Cretans and all that. You got the atomic pot. It's great. Yeah, these are not in order, by the way. Citizen Toxie 4. Love this movie. This one just goes so over the top that it can't go over the top anymore. I mean, they make fun of everybody in this movie. It's just bananas. It's a banana bonanza. And then got Toxic Avenger Part 3. Decent, you know, more cartoony if anything. He was also disappointed in Parts 2 and 3. They didn't turn out the way he wanted them to. He wanted them to be more violent. He wanted to be more like the first Toxic Avenger, but he had to make some cuts here and there. But they're really trying to chop up his movies at this point, so that's why this one didn't turn out, you know, as good. And then Part 2 is the same deal, you know, it got chopped to bits and stuff, and yeah, he didn't get to do what he wanted to do artistically on it, so there you go. Not bad, though. I'm not saying they're bad. Then we got the classic. Everybody must own this. I mean, especially if you're a Troma fan. Toxic Avenger is just a classic movie. I remember watching this when I was, you know, younger and just being like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, this is just insane. Like, this is a cult movie with capital C. I mean, it's C for cunt. And then we got Psycho Sleepover, decent movie, not done by Lloyd and all them. It's one definitely to check out. It's you know, if you can find it cheap, it's not too bad. Then we got Hellblock 13, which I really recommend. It's got a little bit of Debbie Rochon in there. It's got Gunnar Hansen making an appearance in there. It is an anthology movie. It's really cheesy. It's got really cheesy effects, and it's really fun. Like, you can get this one cheap, too. I've seen this one really cheap. Hellblock 13, really fun flick. Anthology. This one here is good. This is black and white, and they did it to kind of be like a kind of a throwback to like the 40s movies, you know, 40s horror movies, but it does have some humor in there. But I think they did a really damn good job with it. Like, I thought it was really cool. It's really weird. It does have a little comedy in there, but it plays it fairly straightforward. And, yeah, it's just like this dude eventually starts going crazy. He's writing a screenplay, and he's trying to get into Hollywood, and he just goes crazy. But he's staying in, like, this motel apartment deal, so it doesn't have many locations. But I thought it was kind of cool the way they did it, because it all looks like a set piece. It looks like it would in the 40s, how they would make a movie, you know. So it's a pretty cool one. Then I got this one here, Crazy Animal. This one's recommended. This one doesn't get much attention either. It's got Ron Jeremy in there for a second. It's got, it's just about, I don't even want to go into the plot because it's so weird. But, yeah, Crazy Animal is definitely a funny one. It's got its moments. Definitely worth picking up for cheap. Then, of course, everybody's heard of this one. I think it's a German movie. It's called Suicide. It's subtitled. It's about, you know, you've heard Jessica talk about it on her channel. It's about, you know, these people that say that they try to get in touch with people that are about to commit suicide, and they tell them, like, look, hey, we'll put you on our website, we'll record you, and you can explain your story, and it's like anti, you know, this, but they're just trying to, you know, make money off of filming people's suicides. Pretty good, not really gory or anything, but like she said, it's got a lot of realistic type suicides. It's more like overdoses and stuff like that, but you got to look out for the part where the dude gets hit by the truck. That looked really good. Then we got Blood Junkie. This is an outstanding, like, throwback movie to the 80s. This movie is so good. I can't wait for Drew Rose's next movie, Billy Club. That's going to be fantastic, too. This movie is a must-buy if you like the homage, spoof, slasher, 80s, anything like that, pick this up. I'm telling you, it's really well done. Then I got Troma's Triple B header. It's got Blades, Bloodhook, and Zombie Island Massacre. Zombie Island Massacre was not that interesting. I enjoyed Blades and Bloodhook. They're both two good cheesy movies. Parts of the Family, I still haven't finished this one. What I've watched of it is just kind of like, but there's two different cuts of the movie. I guess Lloyd messed with one of the cuts and kind of made like he dubbed in some of the voices and made it silly, and he dubbed in some scenes with himself in it. So I do need to check this out still. But what I've seen of the original movie, I was like, the trailer looked a lot cooler than what it turned out to be. This movie is a gem. If you like crappy movies that will make you laugh your ass off, this is an Indonesian action movie, and it is awesome. Pick this up. You can get it for like $1. I'm telling you, if you like action movies that are just over the top, just ridiculous, and will make you laugh your ass off, get it. Do it. Then I got Heavy Mental. This is a good one. It's pretty cheap and low budget, but I think they did a good job on it. It's about this rock and roller that dies, and he gets possessed. He possesses this guitar, makes this kid play guitar really good. There's these chicks going around, they're like in a gang, and they hate heavy metal, so they're trying to take the heavy metal club down, and he's got to fight them, and it's really cheesy, really fun. And then we got There's Nothing Out There. This is one from the 80s. It's kind of a spoof on horror movies, but it does have aliens and things like that in there. It's a pretty fun one. Then we got Dead Eyes Open, which is a German flick. It's a throwback to 70s zombie flicks. I thought it was pretty cool. It is subtitled. The acting is so-so. There's some scenes I was like, but for the most part, the atmosphere of like the graveyard scenes and the zombies and stuff, I think they really did a good job capturing some of that Italian, 70s Italian zombie genre feel. So I thought it was pretty cool. Then we got Jefftown. This is basically about this guy with Down syndrome that just follows him around. It's a documentary, and he just says some crazy shit, but it's pretty interesting. Oh god, Disconnect. Blondes Have More Guns. This one's like a kind of a Naked Gun kind of silliness, like just it's straight up comedy. There's not really gore or anything in it. Has some really stupid comedy in it that made me laugh. Not a bad one, not a great one, Then we got this one here, The Dog Pile, 95, Zombies vs. Satan. Wise Guys vs. Zombies, and Meat for Satan's Icebox. These are really, really, really low budget. I did have fun with Wise Guys vs. Zombies, but the acting is so bad. But I don't know, the story was interesting enough to keep me watching it. And if a story catches my attention to where I watch the whole movie, then I guess that merits some entertainment points for me. Then this one. This was great. Never hear this one talked about, really. Killer Nerd and Bride of Killer Nerd double feature. It's got Toby Radloff in it, which this guy here is a true weirdo. I mean, he's not acting. Like, you gotta see him try to act. It's hilarious. Because this guy, I don't know, it doesn't say he has any kind of mental disorder or anything, but he is just, I mean, I hate to be typical, but he is just like the king nerd. I mean, he is just like, you've got to see this. It is such great bad filmmaking. You just got to see him act. I mean, I'm telling you. Then we got Don Dohler documentary, Blood, Boobs, and Beasts, and it also features his movie Night Beast on it. Great documentary if you're into Don Dohler and cheap sci-fi movies. Really enjoyable. Then we got Flesh Eaters from Outer Space and Invasion for Flesh and Blood. Invasion for Flesh and Blood is a lot more fun. These are two shot-on-video movies that have some really silly stuff in there. Pretty damn entertaining. That Invasion for Flesh and Blood is pretty entertaining if you like crappy VHS, shot-on VHS movies. Pretty funny stuff. It's pretty damn good. And then I got this one the other day. This was this is bad. Yeah, Al Adamson, I think, did this. I think that's who it is. Ow. Yeah, Al Adamson, which he's been known to do some pretty bad movies. Like, he did Dracula vs. Frankenstein, which is bad. this movie has been chopped to shit, and it's not due to censors. It was due to him trying to make this movie more marketable. It's been called like about 5 different titles, and it's been released many a times, and it just never did well. It was released as like a diamond heist movie, like a crime movie at first. And then they added these scenes of like some zombies in there, and they added the scene where like they inserted a microchip into somebody's head, and they just tried to go the sci-fi route, tried to go the crime route, they tried to go the horror route, and it just ends up being a mess. This movie is just a complete mess. Some of the stuff was entertaining, but for the most part, it's a mess. Then I got Tainted, triple feature with Tainted, Sucker, and Rockabilly Vampire. Not too shabby. Which one? Sucker was... okay, Tainted. Yeah, it was Tainted. Tainted was entertaining, but man, it really, really, really tried to rip off the Kevin Smith Clerk style dialogue. Like, it was really obvious, like super obvious. There was some clever lines in there, but that was kind of disappointing that they went that far to rip him off. I was entertained though. Sucker is about this rock band, you know, they go around, whatever. Rockabilly Vampire is pretty funny. The sound on it's a little rough. The sound mixing's a little rough, but not too bad. I'd say it's worth a pickup. This is my favorite biker flick ever. Satan Sadist. This is Al Adamson film too, but this is a damn good movie, man. This is like, I heard in an interview, like, he had enough of making shitty movies and he was like irritated and mad, so he made an exploitation movie that's just, it's pretty mean, like mean-spirited, and the biker gang's just a bunch of assholes, and I mean, it's a fun flick. It's not just a bunch of, you know, not like your average biker movie where they're just going around partying, different bars, getting in fights, doing, you know, hanging out on the grass, smoking grass, and drinking beer. This is like them doing shit. Like, they're going after these people, and they're like brutalizing people, and it's fun. Then we got Toxic Crusaders. This is the movies of the cartoon. Fun stuff. Gotta like that. Then I got the Astron 6. The Astron 6 short film collection. This is damn good. If you enjoyed Father's Day and things like that, and Mandroid, pick this up because, you know, on Father's Day it has some of their short films on there, but it's not all of their short films. This is loaded. This is like, it's pretty long. It's, well, it's 80 minutes, but I mean, with shorts, and all the shorts were fun. I enjoyed all of them, but just a really cool pickup there. Then I got Clown Camp Massacre, which was a fun one. The end of it was a little disappointing. I'm not going to give it away. But it does have a little bit of gore scenes in there that were fun. It's everybody's a clown, but they play them serious, like they're actual clowns. Like, it's not like, oh, you know, I'm a dude, I play a clown, you know, like, you know, they're actually clowns, like, in real life, like, all the time. So it's Clown Camp Massacre, you know, that's it, you know. Offensive Behavior was a pretty fun one. Got this from the Wifey. I enjoyed it. It's not Pulp Fiction like it says in the front. But, yeah, it's a fun one. It's got some silly stuff in there. Then we got Bizarre Bizarre. You probably heard Jessica talk about this one. It is a crime, like a, let me see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Bob Berdella. Bob Berdella. He was fascinated by the occult and had been spending his off hours torturing, sodomizing, and murdering young men. But yeah, no, this is a really good one. James Ellroy, I guess he narrates it. James Ellroy is a weirdo, man. I like him though. Bugged. This is one of Troma's, like, you know, they did like their little line of black movies where it was just an all-black cast. Which this was a fun movie. Some of it was a little bit too cheesy and corny, but there's one funny part where a bug picks up a gun and starts shooting at somebody. I thought that was pretty damn funny. But not a bad movie. Alien Blood, I just got this in the other day. I tried to watch it. Looks like crap. Cybernator and Digital Prophet. Cybernator, I started watching that the other day. I just got these two. And Cybernator looks like it may be fun. Digital Prophet, I haven't watched that one yet, but I don't know about that. And then Where Evil Lives. This is a really fun anthology from the 80s. Definitely, if you like 80s anthologies, this one's well done. It's cheesy. It's good. It's pretty decent production values. Not bad. I also got that Father's Day limited edition you know, Blu-ray that I forgot to bring in here. There's probably other ones I forgot to bring in here. They're kind of scattered throughout the house, so it's kind of hard for me to find everything. But that's it. It's a 20-minute video, but yeah, I just wanted to show some of my Troma stuff for Jessica, just to do a video response. But anyway, there we go. Bye.